The old Arab man's voice hit the hotel lobby like a plate crashing to the floor. La hatha ger makbul. No. This is not acceptable. People turned at once. Heads snapped. Phones came out. Two suited men stepped back like they did not want trouble to touch their shoes. Kareem stood near the entrance with a thermal food box strapped to his back, his blue delivery uniform damp at the collar. His hands smelled like pepper soup and grilled chicken. He had only come to drop food, get a signature, and disappear the way delivery boys always did. But the man kept shouting in Arabic, pointing toward the luggage corner, then toward the receptionist, then toward his empty hands as if the air itself had stolen something from him. The receptionist, young, neat, and panicking, smiled too hard. Sir, please. If you are upset about the food, we can. The old man's face twisted. Food? Ana la atakalam and at-taram. Food? I am not talking about food. Kareem froze. Because he understood every word. The lobby felt suddenly smaller, like the air had been pulled tight. The security guard started walking closer, resting his hand near his belt as if the next step might be to escort the man out. The hotel manager arrived, whispering sharply to the receptionist. Where is the translator? I called him 30 minutes ago. The receptionist's voice cracked. He said he is stuck in traffic on Ozumba Mbadu. Kareem's stomach turned. He knew that road. When it locked up, it could swallow an hour. The Arab man slammed his palm on the counter. Fi hakibat. Fi orak muhima. There is a briefcase. There are important papers. Kareem swallowed. His heart began to beat the way it beat when he was small and about to answer a question in class. Fast, loud, and embarrassing. He could help. But his uniform felt like a warning sign. People here did not look at delivery boys as help. They looked at them as background noise. A moving shadow. The manager glanced at Kareem's food box and snapped, Delivery? Put that on the side. Kareem stepped forward anyway. Just one step. His voice came out softer than he wanted. Sir. I can translate. The receptionist stared at him like he had just said he could fly. You. Her eyes traveled from his dusty trousers to his old motorbike helmet. You're the delivery boy. Kareem felt heat crawl up his neck. He almost stepped back. Almost. Then he remembered his grandmother's voice from his small flat in Suralere, the way she said it when the power went out and they lit a candle anyway, Ayalam nur. Knowledge is light. He lifted his chin and tried again, clearer this time. I speak Arabic. Not perfect. But enough. The manager looked him up and down, like he was checking for a trick. What's your name? Kareem. The Arab man was still angry, still loud, still misunderstood. And the security guard was now fully beside him. Kareem moved closer, carefully, like you approach a frightened dog. He raised one hand in a calm greeting and spoke before he could lose courage. Assalamu alaikum ya Sayyidi. Shusair? Peace be upon you, sir. What happened? The change was instant. The old man's shoulders dropped a little, like someone had finally removed a heavy bag from them. His eyes fixed on Kareem's face, really looked at him, and his voice lowered. Walaikum assalam. Finally, someone understands me. The lobby went quiet. Even the receptionist stopped tapping her keyboard. The manager blinked like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. Kareem listened. He nodded slowly. He asked one careful question, then another, shaping his words gently so the man could breathe. And what Kareem heard made his mouth go dry. The man wasn't complaining about the food. He wasn't even angry about the hotel service. He said a briefcase with business documents for a deal happening tonight, had gone missing. He believed it had been picked up by mistake with another group's luggage. Kareem turned to the manager and began translating, sentence by sentence, as calm as he could manage. The manager's face changed from annoyance to fear. Because if this was true, this wasn't a small lobby problem. This was the kind of mistake that could destroy the hotel's reputation in one night. And then, right as Kareem finished translating, the Arab man leaned closer and whispered something that made Kareem's chest tighten. If I don't get that briefcase in 10 minutes. If I don't get that briefcase in 10 minutes, The police. Kareem glanced at the luggage corner. Then he noticed something small. A porter was trying to quietly roll a suitcase away, fast, toward the staff corridor. And strapped to the suitcase handle was a black leather briefcase. Kareem's throat tightened. He turned his head slightly, just enough to see the manager's eyes. And he said, very softly, "Sir, I think I just found it." But the porter started running. For 1 second, nobody moved. Not the manager. Not the security guard. Not even Kareem. The porter's shoes slapped against the marble floor as he pushed through the staff corridor doors. The sound echoed, sharp, wrong, too loud for a place that smelled like air freshener and quiet money. Then everything broke loose. "Stop him!" the manager shouted. The security guard lunged forward, but the porter was already gone, the doors swinging shut behind him. Kareem didn't think. He dropped the thermal food box. It hit the floor with a dull thud, soup spilling through the side and spreading like a dark stain. Someone gasped. Someone cursed. Kareem ran. He had never run like that inside a hotel before. His old sneakers slid on the polished floor, his chest burning as he pushed through the corridor doors. The hallway smelled different, cleaner, colder, like bleach and metal. The porter was fast. Faster than Kareem expected. He knocked over a cleaning cart, sending towels and spray bottles crashing to the ground. "Hey! Stop!" Kareem shouted. The porter looked back once. Just once. His eyes were wide. Afraid. Guilty. That look told Kareem everything. They burst through the back exit into the service yard. Night air hit Kareem's face, warm and thick. Generators hummed. A truck engine rumbled somewhere nearby. The porter veered left. Kareem followed. His legs screamed. His lungs felt too small. For a moment, doubt crept in. Why am I doing this? I'm just a delivery boy. This is not my problem. Then he heard his grandmother again, as clear as if she were beside him. Alhak Durmon Athkal. Bas Bainkasirish. The truth is always heavy, but it breaks through. The porter slipped on oil near the loading dock. Just for half a second. It was enough. Kareem grabbed the back of the suitcase handle. The briefcase strapped to it swung loose and fell hard onto the concrete. Both men went down. They lay there, breathing hard. The porter struggled, trying to crawl away, but Kareem held on. His hands shook, not from strength but from fear. Security arrived seconds later. Flashlights. Voices. Firm hands pulling the porter up. "It wasn't me alone," the porter shouted. "I was told to move it. I was told." "Who told you?" the manager demanded as he rushed in, his tie loose now, his face pale. The porter laughed once. A dry, ugly sound. "You think I'll say that here?" Kareem slowly stood up. He picked up the black leather briefcase. It was heavier than it looked. Too heavy. He carried it back inside with everyone watching him differently now. Not like before. Not like background. In the lobby, the Arab businessman stood waiting, arms crossed. The moment he saw the briefcase, his face changed completely. Relief washed over him so fast it almost looked like pain. Kareem handed it to him with both hands. "Tafadal, ya Sayyidi. Please check." The man opened it. Papers. Folders. Stamps. He let out a long breath and closed his eyes for a moment. Then he held Kareem's shoulders. "Anta Ankastani. You saved me." The lobby broke into noise again. Phones came out. The manager wiped his forehead. The receptionist sat down like her legs had given up. Kareem smiled. Small. Tired. But before anyone could celebrate, the businessman leaned closer to Kareem and spoke quietly in Arabic. So quietly that only Kareem heard. Hoda lam yokan circa adiya. This was not an ordinary theft. Kareem's smile faded. The man continued, his voice low and serious. Someone inside this hotel wanted these documents gone. And they are not finished. Kareem felt a chill crawl up his spine. Outside, police sirens began to wail, coming closer. And Kareem suddenly understood something terrifying. Stopping the theft was only the beginning. The real danger was just starting. The police arrived fast. Too fast. Red and blue lights painted the hotel walls through the glass doors, flashing like warnings. Guests whispered. Security tightened. The lobby that had just felt safe again now felt sharp and watched. Kareem stood slightly behind the Arab businessman, hands folded in front of him. His uniform was still stained with spilled soup. He noticed that detail because it made everything feel unreal. One moment he was worried about delivering hot food on time. The next, police officers were asking questions and writing names. The porter was taken away first. He did not look back. Then the manager was called aside. So was the receptionist. So was the head of security. Kareem expected to be ignored again. Instead, one of the officers pointed at him. "You. Blue uniform. Come here." Kareem's stomach dropped. He followed the officer into a small meeting room near the lobby. The lights were too bright. The air conditioner hummed loudly, like it was nervous too. The Arab businessman came in with them and closed the door himself. That was when the twist came. The man turned to Kareem and spoke, not in Arabic this time, but in careful, clear English. "You did not translate everything I said in the lobby." The room went silent. Kareem's mouth went dry. His heart beat hard against his ribs. I translated what mattered," Kareem said slowly. "The missing briefcase. The mistake. The urgency." The businessman studied him closely. Not angry. Curious. "Yes," he said. "But you did not tell them about the second part." One officer looked between them. "Second part of what?" Kareem swallowed. Because it was true. When the man had been shouting earlier, he had said something else. Something dangerous. Something that would have caused panic. He had said the documents were not just business papers. They were evidence. Names. Transfers. Proof of money moving where it should not. Kareem had made a choice in that moment. A heavy choice. "I didn't think it was safe to say out loud," Kareem replied. "Not in the lobby." The officer raised an eyebrow. "You decided that on your own?" Kareem nodded. "Yes, sir." Another pause. Longer this time. The businessman smiled faintly. That was wise. The officer did not smile. Or reckless. The door opened suddenly. The hotel manager rushed in, sweating. "There's a problem," he said. Everyone turned to him. "The CCTV footage from the service yard," the manager continued. "It's gone. The last 30 minutes. Deleted." The officer cursed under his breath. Kareem felt cold. The businessman leaned back in his chair. "I told you," he said quietly. "This was not a simple theft." The officer turned sharply to Kareem. "Who else heard the man shouting in Arabic before you stepped in?" Kareem thought back. The lobby. The noise. The confusion. "One cleaner," he said slowly. She stopped when she heard him speak. She looked scared. "Where is she now?" the officer asked. No one answered. They searched the staff area, the lockers, the break room, the security desk. The cleaner was gone. Her locker was open. Empty. That was when the officer finally looked at Kareem differently. Not as a witness. Not as a helper. As someone inside the situation. "Kareem," he said, reading from his notepad. "You said you studied languages." "Yes, sir." "Where?" "University of Lagos," Kareem replied. "I didn't finish. Money issues." The officer nodded slowly. "And your parents?" "My mother is Jordanian. My father was Egyptian. I grew up hearing Arabic at home." The businessman stood up. He walked toward the window, watching the police lights outside. Then he said something that made Kareem's breath catch. "There are people who will not stop at stealing," the man said. "They will try again. And they will look for the person who understands the documents." Kareem's chest tightened. "You mean me?" The man turned around. "Yes." At that exact moment, Kareem's phone vibrated in his pocket. He almost ignored it. Almost. Then he saw the screen. Unknown number. One message. Just 4 words. We saw you translate. Kareem's hands began to shake. He looked up slowly. Everyone in the room was watching him. And for the first time since he stepped into the hotel, Kareem realized something terrifying. Helping had made him visible. And visibility can be dangerous. Kareem did not show anyone the message at first. He slid the phone back into his pocket like it had burned him. His mind raced. Who saw me? From where? How did they get my number? He had never given his number to anyone at the hotel. Not the manager. Not the receptionist. Not even the businessman. The officer noticed his silence. What is it? He asked. Kareem hesitated. Just a second too long. The Arab businessman turned and watched him closely, the way a chess player watches the board before touching a piece. Kareem, he said gently, if something has changed, you must say it. Kareem took a breath. Then another. He pulled out his phone and placed it on the table, face up. The officer read the message. His jaw tightened. We saw you translate. No name. No threat. No demand. That made it worse. This means someone inside the hotel is still watching, the officer said. Or someone outside with access. The manager's face went pale. Are you saying, one of my staff? I'm saying we don't know, the officer cut in. And that's the problem. The businessman folded his hands. Kareem should not leave alone tonight. Kareem's head snapped up. Sir. The businessman met his eyes. You became part of this the moment you spoke Arabic in that lobby. Kareem felt a knot form in his chest. He thought of his small room in Suralere. His motorbike parked outside. His grandmother waiting, asking why he was late. I didn't plan for any of this, Kareem said quietly. I know, the man replied. That is why you are valuable. The word valuable sat heavy in the air. The officer nodded. We can arrange temporary protection. Kareem shook his head. I'm not a witness in court. I just helped translate. The businessman stepped closer. You helped prevent a crime. And you understood things others could not. He lowered his voice. I need someone like you near me tonight. The room went silent again. Kareem's pulse thudded in his ears. Near you, how? My company is holding a private meeting in this hotel, the businessman said. The documents in that briefcase decide whether it goes forward or collapses. The officer frowned. You're putting him at risk. The businessman did not deny it. He is already at risk. Kareem felt trapped between two truths. If he left, someone was already watching him. If he stayed, he would be stepping closer to the fire. The officer looked at Kareem. This is your choice. Kareem stared at the table, at the phone, at the message. He remembered something else his grandmother used to say when he was afraid. Al-Khof ma Bayru, bes anta tit alam timshir mara. Fear does not leave. You just learn to walk with it. I'll stay, Kareem said finally. The businessman nodded once, like he had expected that answer. They moved him to a quiet suite on the 7th floor. No windows facing the street. 2 guards outside. Too calm. Too clean. Kareem sat on the edge of the couch, hands clasped. His uniform felt wrong now. Like a disguise that no longer worked. Minutes passed. Then the door opened. A woman walked in. She wore a simple black blazer and flat shoes. Her face was familiar. Kareem froze. You, he said softly. She was the cleaner. The one who had disappeared. She closed the door behind her and looked at Kareem, eyes steady, voice calm. I was hoping it was really you, she said. Kareem's heart slammed against his chest. You sent the message. She nodded. Yes. Why? She stepped closer, lowering her voice. Because you understood the man. And because you did not say everything out loud. Kareem stood slowly. What do you want from me? She looked at him for a long moment. Then she said the last thing he expected. I want to help you, before they realize you are more dangerous than you look. Before Kareem could ask who they were, the lights in the suite suddenly went out. Complete darkness. Outside, the guards shouted. And from somewhere very close, Kareem heard a second phone vibrate. Not his. Someone else was in the room. Darkness has a sound. It is the sound of breath becoming loud. Of fear thinking faster than words. Of truth waiting for the smallest crack to escape. Kareem did not move. The room was black. Not dim. Not shadowy. Completely black. The air conditioner had stopped. Even the quiet hum was gone. Then the cleaner, no, the woman, spoke. Do not panic, she whispered. If you panic, they win. Who is they? Kareem asked, forcing his voice to stay steady. Before she could answer, a phone screen lit up across the room. A pale blue glow revealed a man standing near the curtains. He was tall. Well-dressed. Calm. Too calm. The guards outside shouted again. A struggle. A heavy body hit the floor. Kareem's heart felt like it would break his ribs. The man smiled slightly and spoke in Arabic. Anta doki. Akthar mimma yonbagi. You are smart. More than you should be. Kareem answered without thinking. Wanta galit. You made a mistake. The man's smile faded. The lights came back on suddenly. Everything happened at once. The cleaner moved fast, faster than Kareem thought possible. She grabbed the man's wrist and twisted. The phone fell. The man shouted. The door burst open as police officers rushed in, weapons raised. Down. On the ground. The man tried to run. He didn't make it 3 steps. When it was over, the room was silent again. Not the heavy silence of fear. The clear silence after truth lands. The officer cuffed the man and turned to Kareem. He's internal audit for a partner company, he said. He planned to destroy the documents and frame the hotel staff. The businessman entered the room slowly. He looked at Kareem, really looked at him. You didn't just translate words, he said. You understood intent. Kareem felt tired. Deep tired. The kind that reaches the bones. I just listened, he replied. The cleaner stepped forward. My name is Amina, she said. I've been undercover for 6 months. Kareem nodded slowly. Everything made sense now. And somehow, nothing felt simple anymore. Later, when the sun was almost up, Kareem stood outside the hotel. His uniform was still dirty. His motorbike was still old. But he was not invisible anymore. The businessman placed a card in Kareem's hand. When you are ready, he said. Call me. Kareem looked at the card. Then at the city waking up. Lagos never slept, but it always remembered. As Kareem put on his helmet, his phone buzzed again. A new message. Different number. Just 1 sentence. You chose light. Now choose carefully. Kareem started his bike. The engine coughed, then settled. He rode into the morning traffic, knowing one thing for sure. This story teaches that knowledge hides quietly. That respect should never depend on uniforms. And that when someone who has always been ignored finally speaks, everything changes. Kareem tightened his grip on the handlebars. Because somewhere ahead, someone else was watching. And this time, they knew his name. Thank you for listening. What is your view about this story? Let us know in the comment section. Kindly like, comment and subscribe to our channel.